Hello student, class 10 CBSE chemistry. My name is Sayak Ghosh. I'm an MSc from University of Calcutta. So let's start. So what about the syllabus of the class 10th chemistry? The class 10th chemistry consists of 5 chapters, and these 5 chapters are: number 1, chemical reaction and equation; number 2, acid, base and salt; number 3, metal and non-metal; number 4, carbon and its compounds; and the fifth one is periodic classification of animals. Among these 5 chapters, we are going to start with the first chapter, that is chemical reactions and equations. Before starting, let's see what is the marking pattern in class 10. See, the class 10 science exam will be of 80 marks. The theory paper and 20 marks will be from the practicals. Among these 80 marks, 25 marks will be from chemistry, 25 will be from physics, and 30 marks will be from your bio. So that is the marking division. Now let's start with the first chapter, that is chemical reaction and equation. So first of all, what is a chemical reaction? Students, the definition is very simple. Chemical reactions are the process in which a new substance with a new properties are formed. See, it's a process. First of all, it's a process. It's a process where some new substances are formed, and these new substances will have new properties. So if in a chemical reaction new substances are not formed, then you cannot call it a chemical reaction. That means the change should be a chemical change. The change should be a chemical change. That means that change cannot be reversed back in general. Okay, so if one more thing is that there's a formation of new bond, as well as definitely there should be a breaking of old bond. If the bond making and bond breaking process happens, that means there must be the involvement of nothing but atoms. So in a chemical reaction, atoms are involved. Atoms take part in the chemical reaction. Old bonds are broken, new bonds are generated. One more thing, during the chemical reaction, the number of protons do not change. That means the atoms of one element do not change into those of another element. That means oxygen atom will remain oxygen. Nitrogen atom will remain nitrogen. They cannot become one another. This can never happen during a chemical reaction. That means only chemical rearrangement will take place. Okay, now let's discuss with some easier examples. So one of the very famous example of a chemical reaction is when we burn when we burn uh, magnesium ribbon. When we burn magnesium ribbon in presence of air. So this is a magnesium ribbon. It has been hold. It has been held with a tongue. Okay, it burns and gives a white magnesium oxide. It gives a white magnesium oxide. So this is basically a chemical reaction where the solid, that is magnesium ribbon, has been converted into another solid which is white in nature, and it is an oxide also. So this is a picture, the original picture. See, this is the magnesium ribbon, and it has been burned out, and it is burning here. See, with a nice light, and oxide has been generated. That's it. Now, if a chemical reaction happens, okay, so there are two types of thing. One is the reactants, or what we call reagents, and another one is the products. So those substance which we use, okay, suppose in this case we are using this magnesium ribbon. We are using this magnesium ribbon. So this magnesium ribbon is the reactant. And one more important thing is this reaction. This entire reaction happens in presence of air. In presence of air. If air is not there, then no reaction will occur. Okay. As we all know that combustion is a process where oxygen is mandatory. So those substances which take part in chemical reactions, they are called reactants, and the new substance that is produced by the result of a chemical reaction is product. Here, what is the product? The magnesium oxide, which has been formed by the reaction of magnesium ribbon and air, is the product. Okay, so this is the chemical equation. This that the exactly that reaction which we have studied, we have written this in the chemical equation form. So what is a chemical equation? Chemical equation is nothing but uh, shown by the help of some word or some letters. Okay, the elements are shown and arrow is given, as well as the conditions, and everything has been given to just write the reaction in paper. A word equation shows the change of reactants to product through a through an arrow placed between them. The reactants are written in the left hand side and a plus sign between them. Similarly, products are written on the right hand side with a plus sign between them. The arrow points towards the product and shows the direction of the reaction. That means here magnesium is the reactant, oxygen is a reactant. They both combine. That is why a plus charge has been given over here. They are heated in presence of air. So heat has been written over here. A heat during a chemical reaction can also be represented with the sign delta. With the sign delta. What has been formed? Magnesium oxide, white powder. So here it is written as full word, but we also write this like with the symbol also, like magnesium plus oxygen will give us magnesium oxide, white powder. We can call it solid definitely. Oxygen will be a gas, magnesium will be a solid definitely. So this is how we can also represent a chemical reaction. Basically, actually we represent this in the form which I have shown only. Next, some other examples of chemical reactions. See, souring of milk. If you keep a milk in a particular position for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days, this might happen and this will happen definitely. So this is the chemical change. It cannot be reversed back. Similarly, formation of curd from milk is also a chemical reaction, because milk cannot be reproduced from the curd. Third one is rusting of iron, and the fourth one is burning of fuels. There are many more reactions, but some examples are these four. That means in a chemical reaction, atoms must be involved. Atoms must be involved. Again, there is only a rearrangement of atoms. That means this atom goes from one compound to another one. Now, we've already discussed the reactants and the products. Those which take part in the chemical reaction are called reactant, and the new substance form are called products. Now, the characteristics of a chemical reaction. What happens during a chemical reaction? Any of these five might happen, or all of these five might happen during a chemical reaction. What is this? That is the evolution of a gas. That is the evolution of a gas. Suppose an example. If we treat If we treat one metal, that is zinc, with sulfuric acid, what happens? There's a reaction. During this reaction, zinc sulfate has been produced along with evolution of hydrogen gas. So evolution of gas occurs in this case. That means there can be evolution of gas, but in every reaction it cannot happen. Okay. Formation of a precipitate. Okay, formation of precipitate can occur. There are so many precipitates as well. So during the examples we'll get to know one by one. There should be a change of color, and there might not be a change in color. There should be a change in temperature also. But similarly again, we can say that change in temperature can happen or it might not happen. These are some characteristics. And change in state. Similarly, change in state can happen or it may not happen. But some of these five might be there. All these five can be there. Any one of these can be there, or some of these five might be present during a chemical reaction. Now, what is a balanced chemical equation? Suppose, just see this example. Zinc has been treated with sulfuric acid, the exactly last reaction that I showed you. Zinc has been treated with sulfuric acid. What has been produced? Zinc sulfate has been produced along with hydrogen gas. Now, we all know the conservation of mass law. What is this? That means before reaction and after reaction, the mass will remain same. That means mass cannot be created, neither it can be destroyed. So let's count. Number of zinc 1. In the product side, number of zinc 1. Number of hydrogen 2 in the reactant side. Number of hydrogen 2 in the product side also. Number of sulfur 1 in the reactant side. Number of sulfur 1 in the product side as well. Number of oxygen 4 in the reactant side. Number of oxygen 4 in the product side. So we can say that this reaction is a balanced chemical reaction. That means the number of atoms are same in all the cases. So thank you so much, students. If you have any doubt, any queries, please comment in the comment box. And if you like the content, please like, follow, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much.